We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. This is a question. It is said motivation towards liberation or samadhi is also a tension or barrier. Is it not? If it is not a desire, instead an aspiration, motivation towards liberation or samadhi is also a tension. Is it, if it is not a desire, will it be an aspiration? You have to understand what desire is. Someone has, before I go into, someone has asked a question. After this book, Naqshbandi Principle, Naqshbandi Tariqa and Principle is published, someone asked, are these two authors are your students? Number one, student is a word that is used in the outer dimension. When an individual begins his inward journey, it starts with seeking. He comes to a master as a seeker. Seeker, when his journey continues, he develops a certain discipline, and with that discipline, he becomes a disciple. Disciplehood attains maturity and devotion is developed. Then he becomes a devotee. This is how the process goes on. There is a beautiful example. There was a man who had a huge mirror, a very huge mirror, and people used to come to see the reflection of sun and moon in that mirror. But there used to be a long queue of the people who are coming to see the reflection of sun and moon because there was no other mirror in the whole town. Sometimes people will have to wait for a long time. So he decided something, what to do. So he broke the mirror. Mirror got shattered into small pieces. Now each piece of the mirror, irrespective of its size, shape, it had the reflecting surface, and each surface started reflecting the image of the moon and sun. He gave that piece to everyone, to different people. So now people will not have to come to see the image of the sun and the moon at one place. Instead, everywhere people were able to see it. This is what a master does. He prepares the reflecting media in the form of authors, in the form of those people who can carry on, can reflect the light, the awakening of the sun, awakening the awareness in their own way. In the beginning, it may be blurring, it may not reflect awareness completely, but the process continues, and it happens when all the dust that is there on the inner mirror of that person, the awakening begins to shine, reflect in its pristine glory. This is the purpose of the Master, to prepare a chain of such mirrors reflecting media who can continue to reflect the awakening, the light, the understanding in their own way. This is one of the oft used, the scriptural injunction. Truth is one, but it reflects in myriad ways. Sometimes when it explodes in you, it reflects at love. Love around you, around your family members, amidst near and dear. Then it starts when the energy reaches to the surface, to the circumference. From there it starts radiating in the outer world. Others are affected by it. Then the same experience of love assumes different forms of creativity. Different forms of creativity. As we see in case of the research and development in the field of electronics, all of them work on one principle, the binary principle, but have myriad appliances, myriad available formats. Now, coming back to the question that motivation towards liberation or samadhi is also a tension and a barrier. But if it is not a desire, instead an aspiration, what can be said? You must have to understand what desire means, and religions have confused you so much about it. If you desire something in the world, they call it desire. If you desire something of the other world, they call it by a different name. This is absurd. The desire is simply desire. It makes no difference what the object of desire is. The object may be anything of this world, material, or another world, spiritual, but desire remains the same. You can give it a name, aspiration, or anything. Every desire is a bondage. If you desire God, it also becomes a bondage. Even if you desire liberation or samadhi or moksha or anything else, it becomes a bondage. And liberation cannot happen unless the desiring goes away totally. You are asking every day, am I enlightened? Say something about it. This desiring continues, and that desiring alone becomes a bondage. You say, my life is coming to an end, the body is getting weaker and weaker, so declare that it is enlightened. This is a desire, and that becomes an obstruction. Remember, you cannot desire liberation, you cannot desire enlightenment, that is impossible, that is contradictory. The moment you can become desireless, the moment you become desireless, miracle happens, liberation happens, awakening dawns, enlightenment happens. And whatsoever it is, liberation, enlightenment, or awakening, is not a result of your desire. Rather, it is a consequence of no desire. As long as desire remains there of whatever kind, desire for the world or the outer world, both are desires, and desires are obstruction. Try to understand what desire is. Desire means that right now you are not okay, you are not at ease, you are not satisfied the way you are, you want to change it. This very moment you are not at ease with yourself, the way existence has put you into. If existence has put you into this situation and you are not at ease with it, and something else is in the future, if fulfilled, that will bring peace to you. The fulfillment is always in the future, and whatsoever is happening is now, this very moment. Buddhatva, the element of awakening. Tattva means the element, the essence. Buddha, awakening. The basic element of awakening is to be now and here. If you want to attain to awakening or enlightenment, you have to be now and here. Be satisfied, be in total harmony with all that is happening. And because whatsoever you desire, or call it by another name as aspiration, desire or aspire, its result is going to happen somewhere at a future date. So you are postponing this very moment. Buddhatva, the essence of awakening, is this very moment. Whatsoever this moment brings to you, you are satiated with it, you are in total harmony with that, and that unfolds into a next moment. And when these moments continue, they become the rosary. Rosary does not mean you are desiring something for the future. You have this particular moment, a bead in your hand, you are satiated with it. But what we do when we are doing the rosary, our focus is on how many numbers of rosary we perform on a daily basis. Someone says, I do 10 rosaries in the morning, 20 in the evening, and then in the night again. So your focus is on numbers, not on quality. Whatsoever is in existence is qualitative. If that moment when the rosary is between your index, rosary bead is in between your index finger and thumb, are you available to that moment when the bead is touching? You are getting the feel of the touch of the bead between your index finger and the thumb. Are you available to that moment, or your focus is on when this bead will finish, I complete? That means when this is finished, then I would have completed one more rosary. And your focus is on how many rosaries you complete on a daily basis on a particular session. You are desirous. This is not the way the rosary is to be done. Even if you are holding one, then your purpose is served. When Muslims offer namaz, there is known as in each salah, there is a number of postures, the standing, the bending, the sitting, 15, 16 raktas in each session. It happened once a person came to Sheikh Maulana Abdul Ghani Khan, the Naqshbandi Sheikh. So same time the call for the prayer happened. So he said, Hazrat, the time for the namaz has come. So he said, yeah, namaz is very important. As a Muslim, you must offer 5 times namaz. It is incumbent on us, on a Muslim. So he said, Hazrat, I want to offer my namaz behind you. So the person asked, are you not going? He said, no, I will offer my namaz right here. Wherever I am, there is namaz. Each breath is my namaz. As the breath comes in and goes out, if I am aware, that is namaz. So he said, but I have a deep desire to offer prayers, namaz behind you. So he said, I will do it right here. So Musalla, the prayer mat was spread for both of them. After one rakta, standings offering the prayers, he bent down, he put his kneeled and the head on the ground, and he remained in this position almost an hour. And this man, he cannot complete his prayer. You want to know what kind of namaz is this? We finish mechanically namaz, the raktas, and finish it out. So he said, Hazrat, what happened there? What kind of namaz? I have never seen this kind of namaz. So Maulana Abdul Ghani Khan said, when I kneel down for prayers, a thought came to my mind, and I saw the blessings of my master. People who are lost in the worldly rituals, and the master, the sheikh, was giving his tawajjuh. I was soaked in the tawajjuh of the master. I forgot all about prayers, namaz and everything. And also Maulana Abdul Ghani Khan said, I forgot that somebody is offering namaz behind me. So until I came back of that state, returned to normal, and I realized that someone was offering namaz behind me, it took an hour, and you had to be put into trouble. But this man could not understand. He was ritualistic, the mechanically. So desire, you have to understand, desire means right now you are not satisfied with whatsoever it is. If existence has put you in this position, you are not at ease. This very moment you are not at ease with yourself, with the circumstances and situations around you, and you are desiring something else in future. You are calling it, whether you call it by desire or aspiration. Aspiration is a more refined word for desire. Introspect on it. If this is fulfilled, you are at peace. The fulfillment always happens in the future. You had planted a seed. Seed will take its own course of time to blossom. The only thing is that you need to continuously take care of it. But when you see few months pass and the desired results are not coming, you are disappointed. Suppose, for instance, you have opened a business. Day after day you are making an effort. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, the desired results are not coming. You decide to close down that business and open up another one. You have not been in harmony with it. Remember, if you are in harmony with it, what is the desire? Why is this not flowering, prospering the way someone else's business is doing? Maybe that your journey is different. You are looking for something in the future. So you keep on running from one place to another. You have one spouse, problem comes in, and you say, instead of looking into the shortcomings in you, you start changing the partners. Maybe there was something wrong with this person. I have chosen the wrong person. The choice was wrong. So I am getting a little wiser now, little more experienced. So I will be able to choose the right person. Do it and see for yourself whether you have become wise or you have become the opposite of it. The next relation you start, the same story happens. You are not satiated with whatsoever is happening this very moment. This is desire. So you desire something else in future and you expect, but the next spouse, I'll be able to achieve the desired results, and you call it aspiration. So try to understand what desire is. Desire means you are not satisfied right now as things are. You are not at ease. This very moment you are not at ease with yourself. So instead of seeing that there are proper nourishment, proper fertilizing, proper water, all these things are provided to the plant, you dig up that place again and you plant another seed. You feel that if the desire is fulfilled, and that fulfillment always happens at some future date, and that never comes. This creates tension in the mind for future is desire. Desire means you are not available to this very moment, and all that is there is only the present moment. Buddhatva, awakening, is this very moment, not the next moment. Next moment does not come. This very moment. You are somewhere else in future, and the future has not been. It will never be. Whatsoever happens, it happens as this very moment. This projection of your fulfillment somewhere in future is desire. Does not matter what it is for. So what that future fulfillment is it relevant? Doesn't matter whether it is the desire for kingdom of God, heaven, enlightenment, liberation, or moksha, or enlightenment, anything. It may be, but if it is in future, whatsoever be its nature, it is a desire. Whether you call it aspiration or something else, you can fool yourself. And you cannot desire anything in the present. You have to be present. Is a very precise moment. By the time you mention it, you remember it, it has slipped out of your hand. It is very difficult to capture that moment. That is why it is called the very delicate moment. In present, you can only be. You cannot desire. How can you desire in the present? By the time one word comes out of me, it has become past. So you are focusing what I had said a minute before, not flowing with me as the words are coming out. Desire leads you to the future, into a state of fantasy, in the state of dreaming. That is why so much insistence is by Buddha for no desire. Then you said, I am in a state of no desire. So who is there to say that no desire? It will reflect on its own. It will reflect on its own. Buddha never said, I am enlightened. Sun never says, I have risen. It is the others. It follows a certain pattern. It rises high in the sky. There is a particular kind of a light all around. It's a reflection, it's aura that makes one feel that sun has risen. So when the inner sun is risen in you, there will be aura, there will be radiance, and that radiance will be love. That radiance will be creativity. That radiance will be your overflowing joy. Everything that you are doing, whatsoever you had considered as impossible, it starts happening as if you are not making any effort and it is happening. Whether it is your relationship with your spouse or not. Once the sun has risen, there is reddishness all around as an aura in the sky. No one can escape. Whosoever looks at it will be filled with a joy that sun has risen. The dawn has come. Buddha emphasized on no desire, because only in the state of no desire you can move into reality. With desire, you move into dreams. The future is dream-oriented. When you project yourself into future, you are going to be frustrated. You are desiring reality. You are destroying reality right now for something that may or may not happen in future. And this habit of the mind remains with you, whether you are desiring for liberation, moksha, or anything else. It is being strengthened day by day. So when the future comes, it will come in the form of this very moment. Only the present moment comes. Past is vanished. Future is not yet born. It is born only as the present moment. And your mind is again moved to another moment. You are expecting, you have to meet your spouse 10 o'clock. You are waiting anxiously for 10. The moment 10 comes, now the spouse is in front of you. You have gone into another moment in future. You are not there for that moment which you had been aspiring, desiring, so anxiously waiting for. So what you do? If the person is late by a few seconds, you look at the watch. You are late. I have been waiting anxiously for you for an hour. Oh, really? Now that I am here, enjoy it. But instead of that, traditionally we complain. I had been waiting for you for so long. I wanted to have a coffee with you, but I was feeling so bored that I have 3 cups of coffee already. So you miss that present moment which you had been aspiring for at some future date in the future, in a distance that it will, when this 10 o'clock happens, my spouse will be here. I will hold hand in hand with her, have a cup of coffee. But now she's here. The spouse is here. But you are in complaining. You miss that moment again. Now you are aspiring for a next moment. How many such moments you have missed in your life? And how many you go on missing on a moment to moment basis? Is it not pathological? And this mind goes on getting strengthened day by day. So when future comes, it will come as a present moment. So you are, instead of living that moment which you had been aspiring, you are aspiring something else now. We go to the restaurant. For months together you made an appointment, because in this particular restaurant you have to make an advance appointment. So you made the appointment. You are anxiously waiting for that moment to come when you have to go and enjoy the meals there at that restaurant. So you are aspiring, desiring, waiting, and finally the moment comes and you go to that restaurant. You are sitting there, looking at the ambience, and you are talking about, comparing that, the decor of this restaurant seems to be almost like the other one. The service is a little bit delayed, but you have chosen it on your own. No one forced you to choose. And when the food comes in, the food there, this particular item in that last restaurant was better. And we are here now. The food is in front of you to enjoy, to live in that moment. You said, next time we should plan to go somewhere else, in another restaurant, because I have heard a great reviews about that restaurant. Something you had been aspiring for, desiring for, religiously, spiritually, that moment is here. You have left that moment and gone somewhere else. Does it not happen in your day-to-day life like that? You have bought a new shirt on your meeting with your spouse. You put on that shirt. So your spouse says, what a nice shirt. Yeah, this is nice. But I have another one which is even nicer than that. Don't you say things like that? And you call yourself spiritual? Decide for yourself. You are destroying reality right now for the future dreams, and this habit of the mind remains with you without a break. And it goes on strengthening on a day-to-day basis. So when future comes, it comes only as a present, and you move again for another, aspire to have for another moment, and your mind will again move to some other future event. Even if you could reach God, it will not be satiated. If one day you happen to meet God, you will not be satisfied. That is the way you are. It is impossible. Even in the presence of the divine, you will move away into another future. This is the human mind. Your mind is always moving, traveling into future. The movement of the mind in the future is desire. You may call it aspiration. Desire is not concerned with any object, whether it is God, holy place, religious place, spouse, or anything. With whether you desire sex or you desire meditation, it makes no difference. Desiring is one thing. It means you are there is that you desire. It means you are not here. Desiring means, aspiration means you are not here in this very moment. It means you are not in the real moment, and the present moment is the only door to the existence. The past and future are not the doors. They are like walls. You cannot pass through the walls. You can pass through only the door, which is this very moment. So I cannot call any desire spiritual. Let us keep this session up to here until we meet again tomorrow. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.